Episode 1 of the NOVATECH Deep Dive. And we're going to go back to September 21st, 2018, when a new company came out called AWS Mining. Because it cannot be a full NOVATECH story if it does not include the beginning. And the beginning was AWS Mining. It came out September of 2018 and provided no information on their website about who owns or runs the business. However, according to a 2018 business presentation hosted on the AWS Mining website domain, the founders of the company were Daniel Badushi and Alexandre Campos. Daniel Badushi maintains 2 Facebook profiles. In one, he claims to live in Sydney, Australia, and in the other, Santa Catarina, Brazil. Right? E aí, mano. Badushi first popped up on the radar as a top investor in another Brazilian company that was called BBOM. And prior to that, he worked for a well-known company called Amway. So he started in Amway, went to BBOM, and then he started his own company and called it AWS Mining, a crypto mining platform. The AWS Mining website domain was actually registered back in April of 2018. AWS Mining is listed as the owner, AWS Mining Ltd, and had a registered address in Australia. Okay. They had a shell company, which was the Ltd company, right? It's similar to an LLC in the United States. And Brazil, at first, was the top source of traffic for AWS Mining. Now, what were the products, right? Well, it was a mining service, right? So the AWS affiliates, they would invest the funds into this mining service, and the advertisements were based on this project that they had called CMP, and 0.1 CMP was $40 all the way up through 10 CMP, which was $4,000. Each investment is charged a monthly 20% fee. Notice the monthly fee here, guys. This will be a recurring situation as we get into NOVATECH, because NOVATECH borrowed a lot of what they did from what had previously occurred here at this AWS mining company. And we're going to see why. So the 20% was taken out. Here was their affiliate rank plan, the miner, and then the coordinator. Once you generated $10,000 in your downline, supervisor at $50,000, manager at $100,000, director at $500,000, vice president at $2 million, and president at $10 million. Also, AWS Mining affiliates were paid 10% of the funds invested by personally recruited affiliates. A 1% bonus ROI rate was also applied per affiliate recruited. Now, in order to qualify for the residual commissions, you had to bring on 2 people. Okay? And they had a binary payment structure, which is different than what happened with NOVATECH. Now, based on the rank, you could get commissions daily. The miner was eligible for $500 a day, coordinators $700 a day, supervisors $1,000 a day, managers $1,500 a day, directors $2,000 a day, vice presidents $2,500 a day, and presidents $5,000 a day. Also, AWS Mining was taking 20% of the contract fees and using them to pay commissions. So that fee that everybody was paying per month, They say they were using that to pay commissions. Here's the rank achievement bonuses that they offered. Coordinator, a $100 bonus. Supervisor, a $400 bonus. Manager, an $800 bonus. Director, a $4,000 bonus. Vice President, a $10,000 bonus. And President, a $100,000 bonus. Membership was free. However, you would have to purchase an investment in order to qualify for, anything with the company. Now, they claimed that they had mining farms, right? And that we were getting into mining. This is what they stated on their website, okay? AWS Mining says, for safety reasons, we don't provide the information of where our mining farms are located. However, since April of 2016, we have been operating some mining farms that are located in Europe, America, and Asia. All right. Now, there were some YouTube videos out there that showed evidence, right? Because they had mining hardware featuring AWS mining stickers. However, of course, obviously, that evidence could have been faked. They didn't disclose any of their mining operations in their ASIC filings. So it was pretty much the equivalent of a pointless UK incorporation. It markets its actual activity in primarily the US and Brazil. AWS mining was not registered to offer securities, and some token mining might have been taking place, but not enough probably to sustain all the compensation that AWS mining was paying out. The only verifiable source of revenue entering AWS mining was new investment. And next to this article, we have a picture of a lovely young lady who is being recognized with the rank of Vice President of AWS Mining, a team lead from the United States of America, Wellington, Florida, by the name of Cynthia Petian. And this was the first appearance of Cynthia Petian anywhere. Was on this article talking about AWS mining from 2018 in September. And this was the first time she was ever seen on the scene. How prophetic, how telling that out of all the people working for, this is the picture that they chose in this article. This is the person that was highlighted. A mover and a shaker at AWS Mining with the rank of vice president named Cynthia Petian. Now, it was stated here that eventually AWS Mining would probably collapse because it was postulated that they don't have enough funds from the actual mining activities to sustain these large payments that they were making to their promoters and their recruiters. I want to give a shout out to my man Lambo Drew TNT, my guy Vaughn. Let's go, man. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, everyone. Lambo Drew. Here's for you, Lambo Drew. Welcome to the chat, the Unlimited Freedom Network. We are doing a deep dive into NOVATECH. This is episode 1, and we are going back to the beginning with a in-depth look at AWS mining. Right, is today's topic. That was September 18th. Of 2018. In November of that same year, AWS Mining was served a securities fraud. A securities fraud cease and desist order from the state of Texas. Rewind that. Securities fraud was served on AWS Mining in the state of Texas on November 7th. AWS Mining has been served a securities fraud cease and desist by the Texas State Securities Board. The named respondents to the notice are AWS Mining and AWS Elite. Co-founders Daniel Bedushi and Alexandre Campos. We heard about them in the last article. Jessica Nunez Cervinho, cited as an executive of AWS Mining. Joseph Kostek, cited as CMO of AWS Mining. Mike Coindeal, cited as a wallet services provider from AWS Mining. And Kenneth Luster and his West Texas Oilfield Cloud Miners Club AWS Mining Investment Downline. So they actually went after one of the promoters here. A Texas oil man by the name of Kenneth Luster. In their November 6 emergency cease and desist order, the Texas Securities Board alleges AWS Mining has engaged in securities fraud. Now, AWS Mining investors signed up on the promise of passive returns in addition to recruitment permissions or recruitment commissions. The Texas Securities Board went one step further and pegged AWS Mining. They said that they advertised an ROI at 200%. I mean, the Texas Security Board must not know a lot about crypto because 200% is actually pretty doable. But I digress. Of note is the Texas cease and desist order observes AWS Mining and MyCoinDeal have been registered with the Australian Securities and Investments Commission since June 2017. And the ASIC is essentially Australia's equivalent of the SEC. Whereas ASIC should be on top of scams operating right under their nose, unfortunately, the regulator has a terrible track record for securities fraud. Well, maybe they're just not as strict, right? Maybe Australia, they're not as strict as they are over in the United States, right? I can't say it's a bad thing for that. I think too much regulation is actually a bad thing because at the end of the day, shouldn't we be able to do what we want to do with our own money? Should the government really be telling us what to do? Right? That's what I think on it. Anyway, let's get back into the article. In connection with the offer of unregistered crypto mining power contracts, AWS Mining, Bedushi, Campos, and Nunez are intentionally failing to disclose the following material facts about the management of AWS Mining. A, the relationship between AWS Mining Pty and AWS Mining. B, the business repute and qualification of Bedushi, Campos, Nunez, and other principals of AWS Mining. C, AWS Mining's asset, liabilities, and capitalization. And D, AWS Mining Pty's assets, liabilities, and capitalization. E, the identity, business repute, and qualifications of the persons responsible for managing the operations of AWS Mining's cryptocurrency mining farms. F, whether AWS Mining is mining Bitcoin, Ethereum, Monero, or some combination of these cryptocurrencies and other mineable cryptocurrencies that use proof of work hashing. And G, the type of specialized hardware used to mine cryptocurrencies and the collective hash rates of hardware used to mine cryptocurrencies, whether expresses as GHs, THs, PHs, or some other metric. On top of that, there were also a boatload of disclosed failures cited, which can be read on the actual Texas board notice. For those of you watching right now, and for those of you who are going to tune in later, here is a link to the actual notice that was served by the Securities Board of Texas to AWS Mining. I just shared it in the chat. So, following the reviewed collective evidence, the Texas Securities Board concluded that AWS's mining's investment opportunity was a security, that they violated the Securities Act, that the respondents were engaged in fraud, right? And that they were making material misleading and otherwise likely offensives to deceive the public. Here again, unbelievable. Unbelievable. The article goes on to say, as part of our AWS mining review, we have identified somebody named Cynthia Petion. As part of our AWS mining review, we have identified Cynthia Petion as a prominent promoter of the company. So here we are, back again in 2018. This is before anything ever was before NOVATECH even was a thing. Here, making headlines with another photograph, we have none other than Cynthia Petion. You cannot make this up. A prominent promoter of the company. In response to our calling her out for oh my God. In response for our calling her out for promoting fraud in Africa. Guys, this is before NOVATECH. Petion stated, "My businesses resides overseas, and yes, I file my taxes, idiot." The SEC doesn't view Bitcoin as a security, and they sure as hell don't care if those plans are sold outside of the United States, despite my residency. That statement, my friends, has not aged like wine. That statement has not aged well. Now, you guys know that I am a Christian man. But I think you also know that I'm a convicted felon. I make no qualms about that, that I have a past, I have a history, and that I'm not the nicest guy. I'm not claiming to be this beacon of light and minister for Christianity, right? I believe in Christianity wholeheartedly. But I'm not over here saying that I'm the best Christian, and I'm definitely not calling myself a reverend. But this lady, this might have been before she called herself a reverend. But here's what she said. My business resides overseas, and yes, I file my taxes, idiot. The SEC doesn't view Bitcoin as a security, and they sure as hell don't care if those plans are sold outside the United States, despite my residency. Cynthia's husband, Eddie Petion, claimed that the speculation that AWS Mining was engaging in securities fraud violations was speculative and not factual. The Petions are believed to be based out of Florida, and the couple were recently promoting AWS Mining in Russia. As at the time of the publication, neither AWS Mining or any other mentioned named respondents or Cynthia and Eddie Petion have responded to the Texas cease and desist order. This article came out November 7th, 2018. So you see, we have the backstory. We have the beginning, the superhero story, the backstory. These Petions, they were movers and shakers. They were doing big things before Novatech was a thing. This is all documented, right? This is all public information. I am now going to share with you a third article. AWS, and this is August 24th, 2019. So the first one that we talked about was when AWS mining was first coming out. It was back in September of 2018. Next, we get the securities fraud warning from the state of Texas, which I've shared with you in the chat, which came out November of 2018. Now we have, fast forward to April 24th, 2019, the AWS mining has collapsed and is promising a reboot in Dubai. So, April 24th, 2019, AWS mining has collapsed and is promising a reboot in Dubai. Rather than admit that they've run off with the money to pay off existing investors, AWS mining came up with an elaborate fire damage story. And here it is. Hit the like button because nobody else is giving you the same kind of sauce that I'm giving you here at the Unlimited Freedom Network. Nobody else is doing the work to give you the comprehensive story, the true story, the NOVATECH story. And all I ask is that you hit that like button because nobody else is giving you the same kind of sauce that I'm giving you here at the Unlimited Freedom Network, the true sauce, right? I'm not leaning in on one side or the other. I'm giving you something that's fair and balanced, right? But don't call me Fox News. It is with regret that AWS mining informs that a fire has destroyed You gotta love it, man. You gotta love the creativity, right? You gotta give them points for creativity. Let's try that again. It is with regret that AWS mining informs that a fire, not informs you, just informs, right? So we've got the bad grammar, the misspellings, right? The English is not my first language writing. It is with regret that AWS mining informs that a fire has destroyed one of our crypto mining farms in Paraguay, right? Although the reason behind this devastating fire remains unknown, it is certain that there will be heavy economic issues for the company and for you, my friend. According to the statement issued by the farm manager in Ciudad de Isle, the fire took place on Friday, March 29th, between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m., and destroyed thousands of machines and servers, causing an estimated total loss of nearly $5 million. Right? As a consequence of the fire, AWS mining is running out of money, right? The company has not paid its investors for weeks. Does this sound familiar? Right, this occurred back in April of 2019. The latest has seen AWS mining give up on paying back investors, right? The company wants to wipe the ROI slate clean and reboot. Hey, what a concept. Now we're going to wipe the slate clean and reboot? What happened to everybody's funds? AWS Mining's announcement comes on the back of a barrage of complaints from its official Facebook page. Here are some examples. This one is from Charles. I can feel it already that I'm going to lose my 26K investment with AWS Mining. I just remembered that happened to me in Gladcoin before. So this guy got burned twice. I wonder if he went into Novatech also. Sadiq, today's bonus 0.06 CMP, crying emoji. Henry, those who listen to me, well done. Those who didn't, I'm sorry for you because this may signal the end of the road for AWS. Earfan, AWS Mining, why you changed the plans. AWS Mining responded, we have help centers exclusively for support. If you need help, please go to our site, scroll down, find the icons for our support, and contact us. Instead of addressing investor complaints of little to non-existent ROI payments, AWS Mining is directing investors to contact help centers for support. You ever heard of that before? According to AWS Mining's announcement, the company hopes to introduce its AWS Capital reboot on May 1st, 2019. As opposed to fire damage, the company cites the Texas cease and desist order and the sudden drop of crypto values for its collapse. Actually, I think crypto was on a bull run back then, guys. Our corporate staff, partners, leaders, and global consultants have been working intensively to find solutions for our business model. Right? I mean, how many times have we heard these similar type of things? We have adjusted our business model following the prerequisites of some of the toughest regulators in existence so that our customers can be safe when promoting AWS Mining products and services to others. Our goal is to deliver a profitable, transparent, and innovative product to our customers, a goal that they never achieved, by the way. As part of AWS Mining's commitment to regulatory compliance and transparency, the company had announced a corporate move to Dubai, a jurisdiction with little to no regulation or corporate transparency requirements. I will say this, shout out to Dubai. I love Dubai, right? Because Dubai is one of the most business-friendly places on the face of this earth. So I don't think that anybody moving to Dubai is necessarily a bad thing. The problem is they weren't able to keep their company solvent. The first requirement, and this is from AWS Mining, the first requirement was to choose our new home. And for that, we have strategically chosen Dubai as our new jurisdiction. Dubai has an open economy with favorable business regulations, such as adopting open policies for crypto-friendly businesses and blockchain technology. So to be clear, neither cryptocurrency businesses or blockchain technology are illegal in the US. Now, keep in mind, guys, this was written back in April of 2019. Now we all know that anybody having anything to do with crypto comes under attack in the US. I mean, they're locking people up. Look, just look around you. Just read the news. Okay, so this was written before that the real crackdowns had all began to take place. But America hates crypto. Can we just be honest? Right? America can't stand crypto. They hate it because they can't control it, right? I mean, that's what it is, guys. Passive income schemes like AWS Mining, however, are strictly regulated. The reason for this is that so investors have confidence in companies like AWS Mining are actually doing what they say they're doing, as opposed to committing investment fraud. When AWS Mining received its Texas securities fraud cease and desist notice, all they had to do was register with the TSSB and provide evidence of external revenue being used to pay affiliates. Rather than do this, AMS Mining didn't respond to the notice and eventually stopped paying investors. AWS capital investment plans have yet to be released. So their new reboot, right, which never came about and never amounted to anything. But what we do know is that AWS Mining victims looking to recover their losses will be asked to hand over their money. So, should an existing contract become unprofitable as per the terms and agreement, so when they stop paying you, we are preparing options, and that will allow these customers to purchase the latest equipment at a discounted rate, right? so that you can continue to earn, which that never ever materialized. So that was the end. And that occurred back in April 24th of 2019. That was the end of AWS mining. But it was not the end for Cynthia and Eddie Pettion.